Good day, Navs gang, and welcome back to all my zombie slaying friends. This is Diajin back with another test video. This time I'm going to test a combination of a crafting base that I like to build and potentially a horde base. Cut out a lot of the grind, a lot of the construction, sped it up, in some places, just give you an idea. If you're interested in the design, let me know in the comments, or you can pause the video and figure out most of it. It's an 11 by 11 toothy structure is the base. For those of you who know what a toothy structure is, it's designed to let you jump in and out of your structure without having a door. Uses poles and wedge tips for the most part. Pretty popular design in Alpha 16. Zombies, even zombie dogs, really couldn't get through. It's very rare that they could get through the toothy structure. It seems to work in Alpha 17, with the exception of spider zombies. They jump right through the toothy structure design, so it's not the best design for a horde night, especially if you got a high number of zombies that are going to generate on horde night. But it works pretty good if you need a place, to get into and out of pretty quickly. You want to build your crafting area above it, or even below it if you want to try and go subterranean. But yeah, it does work pretty effectively on zombies, especially not running zombies. They can ragdoll through, if they take a hit and get pushed through by the other zombies. But even on horde nights when we've done it, it's pretty manageable with a couple of folks. Maybe not so much if you're on your own, but with a couple, yeah, you can pretty much manage it and keep it repaired. I only did flagstone with this. You can make flagstone poles starting out. For some reason, you can't make wood poles. You have to have a table saw to make wood poles. But this is all stuff you could do fairly early on. Wood bars is what I use for the floors. And cobblestone blocks. The inside is 5 high, and I did that. Normally I would only do it about 4 high, but I did that because if zombies get in and you're up above in your crafting area, you can see down into it, you can shoot them, and then they're not going to be beating on those wood bars as quickly. Give you a little more time, force them to kind of jump or mess around. Give you time to take them out. Now, in Alpha 16 on the second floor, I would always make kind of an open area. I'd use the 50 pillars, but for this design, because I'm going to build a cage in the middle area here, I went with poles. The pole portion of this was, well, it was a bit of a challenge because I was trying to get them all lined up, symmetrical and stuff, and that took me a few tries. So, yeah, this took quite a bit of time to do. And then once I got the second floor done, I went ahead and took on the third floor. And in my design, this is where I have my crafting area. I have all my forges and everything up here, bed rolls, all that. As you can see, I build, cobblestone blocks, and then I put some bars in to give you some windows to look out on. And then we're going to build the cage here around the bottom. Same as the cage and tower design that you've seen others do, Grand Spartan. He's the one I saw doing it and gave me the idea. So same concept. Put the bars around the top because we want to make sure the zombies don't come in. Also on the top I would put doors, so you could get out and get on the ledge on the top there. So that way, if zombies come out, you can step out, look down, see what's going on. If you got a wandering horde, that way you don't feel so enclosed inside of the crafting area at the top. Now we're building our ramps here. The whole ramp will be 5 high with a ramp block on top. I did it 3 wide, and I used frames. In other tests I've used full wood, but frames work just as well. And it's 3 away from where the cage begins. So I tried it starting it down here on the bottom. Yeah, they just come straight out the toothy structure if you're down on the inside. It was what I wanted to test. It panned out exactly as I expected it to. So next we're going to go up into the cage. and I learned my lesson in previous tests. You gotta make a hole or they're just gonna spawn on top of you. So we did some slow moving zombies here. You know, just see how they're gonna path to you. And initially it looks like they're just coming straight for you, and some of them kind of wandering towards the ramp. Well, that's because you're not standing in front of the ramp. If you're not standing directly in front of the ramp, the zombies are gonna go to their old pathing, ways and come at you, wherever's closest to get to you and start beating on your structure. But if you're right in front of the ramp on that cage block, they're just going to keep going up and down, and going in a nice circle for you. If you move away, they start moving toward the toothy structure. So I did that, and then, they went there. Most of them came back. A couple of them got enamored with the toothy structure, and I had to, they had to get a couple more hits in before they went back to going up and down the ramp. Yep. So again, up and down, same deal. If you move to the other side, again, you're going to have some issues here. They're going to path to the toothy structure initially. Some of them will, come after you over where the ramp is, but some of them stayed there. I had to pop those so they didn't break through. So with this design, you definitely want to stay with whatever ramp, wherever you are. Don't move around. You see one of them squeeze through, came inside of the toothy structure. So clean that up. Let's try it again. Got a little more dynamic guys. Brought the farmers in. And they started beating on the ramp, pretty quick there. And then I think it was because I wasn't directly in front of the ramp. Once I got in front of the ramp, they just started going up and down. Another good reason to use, if you're going to do a cage design, or if you're going to do this kind of design, another good reason to use frames is it gives you the opportunity to shoot through them. So, you don't have to wait till they get to the top. You can shoot them while they're coming up and down. You can also do that with metal trusses, and you could do square trusses with ramp trusses. They're a little more durable, but you can still shoot through those, and same concept will work. And we try some football players here. And same thing, they come straight for you, and they take a piece out of that ramp initially there, but once you've moved over, they'll come back after you and go up and down the ramp, up and down the ramp. I did widen it, made it 5 wide, just to see if that worked better. It gives you a little more wiggle room, so you don't feel so constrained. You can make it even wider. You can make it as wide as the whole structure if you want. But why I like this design is because really what I want to be able to do is get in and out of the place quickly, not have to worry about putting blocks or drawbridges or whatever else to get in and out of my my structure on a normal day. And I like having my crafting area co-located with where my horde base is, so that way if I die, I can store stuff up at the top, spawn in, and then come back in. And in this design, you can shoot down through the bars from the very top all the way down. If the zombies come inside of your structure, and you can make your way back down and get them to pass back to the ramp. But yeah, I don't like the idea of having to have 2 separate bases. It's just not something I've gotten comfortable with yet. It's kind of what you have to do with Alpha 17 though so far. Now the vultures present a little bit of a different challenge here, and it took me a while to kind of figure out. And so I brought in the irradiated vultures to start with, and the reason I did that is they puke. But what I noticed in previous tests, and if you haven't seen those, please check out my other tests, they don't really puke at you until you shoot at them, until you really get their attention. So they kind of hang around, not really puking. They don't really come for you either. They just circle. And yeah, so it's kind of a non-issue when you're inside of a cage. They just end up, you have to deal with them on the outside or shoot at them, wasting a lot of rounds. They don't really care where you are in the cage. They circle above, they circle down the sides. So, you know, that test, it proves that they're not coming for you, but that's kind of where we were before. So just need to, then taking them out even with the dev guns, sometimes a challenge because they loiter and wander far away. I brought out the AK, you know, to show once you shoot them, now they come after you. That's when they start paying attention. Now you're a threat. Because a dev gun, you get one-shot kills. But now here comes a, you know, one comes in. They do a little bit of damage to the bars when they do this, but honestly, by the time you've shot them 3 or 4 times, it's not going to be too much, if anything. I don't know if that's on purpose. The Fun Pimps designed them this way that, you know, only until you shoot at them will they come directly for you. Here comes another, you know, feathered friend here. They're hideous, aren't they? Yeah, they really are some nasty looking thing. And his wing got caught in my bars there. So, this one, you know, get their attention, get them to puke, and they puke. I will tell you, they don't do a lot of block damage. They really don't. The puke is pretty. Look at that, you know, just a couple of points off a 250 wood bar. So not a lot of block damage from them. Here's our friendly zombie still hanging out. And then, yeah, so trying to spawn in some more. Somebody found a hole here, and then I ended up spawning zombies in underneath me. Yeah, it was kind of a mess. I thought I'd leave that in. It's just, you know, sometimes even in creative mode, things don't work the way you expect them to. Yeah, so the zombie cheerleaders started having their way with my structure because I wasn't where I should have been. And they get back on track and they start using the ramp. They do some damage down there. Not a big deal, but again, they're doing their thing, going up and down the ramp. This time they took out a couple of the blocks. You know, that's going to happen. That's why you don't want to rely on just one ramp. I did 4 all the way around, and if one ramp takes too much damage, you can move to the other one. And yeah, I think this would work fairly well if you're, you know, got multiplayer, you know, 2 or 3 people defending it at different ramp spots and covering down on each other, and you can see pretty well underneath each other in this design. So if somebody's beating on a wall, you can get to them. Now spider zombies, they present a different challenge, you know. So there is a good mix with, you know, vultures and ferals and all that kind of stuff, but spider zombies, yeah, they jump pretty high. Now, interesting thing, when they jump, they don't hit. They're not doing damage to the structure, which is one of the things I've been worried about. And I know they jump right through a toothy structure, so I didn't go down and test that. I've seen that, proven that in other videos. But what is interesting is they kept coming in, and I couldn't figure out, okay, well, how are they coming in? They're able to jump up on top of the bars. So, well, okay, well, where are they coming from? Because I thought maybe they're glitching through the bars somehow, you know, that seam right there. You know, so if they jump just right, they could come through. And then I realized what they were doing. They had beat a hole, or found a hole, I don't know for truth, in the top of the cage, and they were going around, jumping on top of it, going around and going into the hole in that cage and coming through that way. So note to self, you want to make sure that you don't have any holes in your cage before you have a Horde night. But in a future design, I would probably make the cage another block higher. I'd consider doing that anyway, but I thought, why waste the material? But yeah, it's probably just best with the zombies, make it one more block higher. That should take care of the problem. And then just make sure if you see a spider zombie jump up, it becomes priority 1, because they'll beat a hole in there pretty quick. Oh yeah, with only 250. So I brought some irradiated ones out. I plugged the hole, wanted to see, you know, do we have the same problems here? And even with a, you know, ramp that's damaged, you know, they jump around, they do their Frogger thing, you know, leapfrogging all over the place. And probably stop calling them spider zombies and start calling them Froggers, because that's really more what they're doing. But you know, the guys, they come in, they don't really hit the hit the bars. They don't do a lot of damage to the bars, but see, now he gets on top, he starts beating down, so you gotta take him out quick. He will beat his way through. And yeah, they're pretty effective at jumping up there. Again, one more block higher should make it okay. I may test that out in another video just to double check and see if you got to go 1 or 2 blocks higher. I've heard different debates on how high the spider zombies can jump. I've heard 5, I've heard 8. That'd probably be a good test. Gonna clean up here. Some of them do kind of get attracted to the area underneath you. These guys didn't make it through, so that whatever they were doing wasn't doing a lot of damage. And try out some other zombies. See if I can kite them around a little better. If you stand farther away. And again, more of the same. Up the ramp, down the ramp, up the ramp, down the ramp. Very effective horde design, remains true for Alpha 17. I don't know if the Fun Pimps will change that, their pathing at all. My idea would be to make the different types of zombies use different types of pathing. The dumber, regular zombies just kind of have a straight at you, and then the feral or the irradiated, which would be the smarter ones, would use a little more intellect, and that would kind of force us to, adapt and have multiple ways of defending ourselves. Now the feral whites, interesting thing here is, some of them came straight up the ramp, and some of them went straight for the structure down there. Initially and started beating on it, but then they came back around, and I think that's kind of common. They, depending on where they are when they come into contact with you or where they think you are, they do jump a lot more, kind of like the spiders. They jump at you instead of just falling off the edge, but again, they're not swinging, so they're not doing a lot of damage. That guy kind of stuck to the wall there. Take those dudes out, and I'm not, even with the dev gun, not 100%. So good thing you got unlimited rounds with that. But they did knock a couple of holes in here. They probably would have breached if I hadn't taken care of them, but still not too bad. Probably could have survived a horde night fairly easily. So thanks for watching. If you liked the video, give it a like. If you're interested in seeing more videos in the future, go ahead and subscribe. Send your comments in. I'm really eager to hear what you got to say. And see you next time.